One of the ways that we can maximize our present after accepting our past is to allow ourselves to live presently in the moment. Hi, I'm Sarah Jakes Roberts, founder of Woman Evolve, the movement, and author of a book of the same title, Woman Evolve. One of the areas that really helped me when it came to moving away from my own fears is finally admitting that they existed in the first place. Sometimes we are so caught up in trying to act like they aren't there that they end up controlling us anyway. I acknowledged them, but I got specific about those fears. And when I began to really acknowledge those fears with specificity, I was able to then introduce truth. The truth of, is our worth even determined by people in the first place, or does it come from what God says? When I continued to speak God's truth over my truth, I practiced it like a muscle, and then it became a part of my identity. I have found that when it comes to forgiveness, that one of the greatest gifts that we can give our journey is understanding and empathy. We can be so violent with ourselves when we have disappointed others and even maybe our own expectations. And yet empathy is daring to understand how I made the decision in the first place. What was happening in me? What did I need? What validation was I in search of? What healing needed to take place on the inside of me? And from that place of empathy, I began to love that wounded person who made the decision. And so my goal is to understand the thoughts that led to the action, to love that person into change, and then from the place of love, teach her how to move forward. One of the things about resisting the past that keeps us bound is that we try to distance ourselves from what happened in our past. But in the process of distancing ourselves, we shut ourselves down emotionally. But to maximize our present and to maximize our future, we have to be willing to first be present. How do you feel? How did that news, how did that experience touch you in a deep place? Bring all of you into the moment. And then from that place, we become so inspired by the life around us, by the highs and the lows, that we begin to create and innovate and look forward to each day, recognizing that it is going to be a beautiful, exhilarating, unpredictable journey of discovering more of who we are and what we're capable of. The first thing that happened to me when I began to change my spiritual journey is that I started speaking God's truth over my truth. I would say, what would God say if I said I was insecure? Well, God would say I'm fearfully and wonderfully made. That allowed me to receive love. But what really transformed my life after receiving that love is saying, well, what do I want to do now that I live with the consciousness of that love? And that's when following the life of Jesus really changed my life. Who was Jesus when he was full of God's love? How did he show up in the world? How did he engage? What did he think was possible? What did he resist? What did he avoid? And so although receiving God's love is so important, channeling that love into our actions is how we become more like Jesus. I'm giving myself permission to rejoice and be excited and enjoy this journey of my life. Not because I did everything the right way, but because my life is now so intertwined with his presence that anywhere I turn, I experience him. And I'm in a moment right now where experiencing him isn't asking for strength. It's not asking that he helps me with my weakness, though I do have those moments. This part of my life is about marveling at what he has done. Here's this excerpt from Jesus Calling. It says, I am leading you along a way that is uniquely right for you. The closer to me you grow, the more fully you become your true self, the one I designed you to be. Marvel at the beauty of a life intertwined with my presence. Rejoice as we journey together in intimate communion. Enjoy the adventure of finding yourself through losing yourself in me.